Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, this just doesn't work. And I want to welcome everybody into the channel, and hopefully, everybody's having a great Friday night. Whew, it's been a long week, and unfortunately, the weekend's going to be kind of long for me too. So, buckle in, strap in, and just keep on getting. Man, I got to tell you, yesterday was kind of incredible. And I'm actually making sure I've got everything going on in here. Forgive me for 1 second. And we allow some of you guys to get going in here in the channel. And wow. Wow is all I can say because yesterday was actually pretty freaking incredible for me. Turn that off there. It was pretty freaking incredible for me. The fact that we ended up having Demario Davis sitting right here in the channel was just incredible. I got to tell you, he is incredible. I wish we had more guys that were like Demario. He has a hell of a story, and I wish I could have. I wish I could have kept a camera on all night, just listening to some of the stuff between him and Battle, this other guy who actually played for Jacksonville and for the Steelers. Listening to some of their stories were amazing. We're talking about how hard it is to stay in the NFL. And forgive me for a second here, I'm missing chats here. I've been doing something a little bit different here. I've actually got two monitors that are set up, and I'm not seeing your guys' chats. Okay, there we go. Let me see. Let me move this over real quick. Okay, hold it. God, I would love to have somebody who actually would just work this stuff for me. Pop out chat. Let me give a shout out to everybody who is already here in the channel. Hold on. I know I saw Virginia Finest. I hope your dad's doing better. And since I can figure out how to grab a hold of the screen, there we go. Wait. Of course, Michael's not around when you need him. There we go. How are you doing tonight, Thomas? We got Connecticut Cowboys. We got Groovy Dude, Nicholas Gates, Victor Mendez. We got Cowboys Factor. Wow, everybody, thanks for joining in. You know, free agency starts in less than a month. The league year starts March 14th, less than a month away. Literally 4 weeks from now, guys are going to be scrambling to grab all the catches they can. Marcellus, how you doing? Virginia Finest, hope your dad's doing better. And we have to get our cap situation in order. This year, and it's funny listening to the talking heads and everybody out there, and they're saying, oh my God, well, we don't have any money. We only have $19 million. Well, in past seasons, our problems have been not that we've only had $19 million. Generally speaking, we've been 20 plus million in the hole because of restructuring and paying guys more than their contract warranted. One thing you can say about the Cowboys was Jerry Jones took care of his own. I mean, you saw him with, guys like Miles Austin after having a great year, giving him a big one. Marion the Barbarian, giving him a $45 million contract. He was trying to take care of those guys. But unfortunately, football is not a family. And that's the thing that Demario said to me last night. He said, you got to understand, you're getting a 1099. You are your own contractor. It's business. Believe me, he's saying they got microphones in the locker room and cameras and everything that you do, they are photographing and all that. So that way there is no liability on it. It's a business. And for the players, their thing is, I need to get as much money as I can. Because for a lot of these guys, it's going to be all the money they make for their whole career. And when you think that the league averages about 3 years per player, you're only getting one contract. So yeah, we see the Peyton Mannings with $25-30 million contract. But the reality is most of these guys are getting league minimums or small contracts and making, $300,000-400,000. Now, believe me, I'd love to make $300,000 or $400,000, this year. But when you think about you might have 1, 2, or 3 years, and then you've got the rest of your life, and the only thing you have ever done is football. It's not as much money as you think. You will probably make more money than a lot of football players will in your lifetime of working. So I'm not begrudging anybody who's out to get as much money as possible. However, that doesn't coexist with winning in football, because you've got to have the best 53 men out there. You can't just have 8 or 9 really good guys and then not have money to pay the rest of them. And that's where we are with the Cowboys. I hate to always use New England, but New England is the only team that stays consistently at the top. And how they do it? Take a look at their Pro Bowl roster. Each year, they never have more than 3 or 4 guys that are Pro Bowlers. Yet the Cowboys have more Pro Bowlers than anybody else. How is it that New England is in the Super Bowl every year with only a couple of Pro Bowlers, where the Cowboys always have tons more? It's real simple. Football is a battle and a game of attrition. Guys are going to get hurt. Gronk, he misses half the season almost every year. But you have to have guys who can step in that are almost as good, so you don't have a big drop-off. You don't go from a Tyron Smith, tops in the league, to a Chaz Green. Because when you do, then all of a sudden your team gets the shit knocked out of them. So what our Cowboys have to start realizing is, when you start looking at the numbers, we have $19 million, which is not bad in comparison to back years. I mean, that's about $45 million better than we usually are. But we still have some contracts that are kind of high. Now, Tyron Smith, we signed him originally to a $97 million contract. That was team-friendly, but the problem has been we've used his contract like a piggy bank and restructuring it over and over and over again. So his cap number next year is 17.5, the highest on the team. The problem is, you have to start wondering, how many more years does Tyron Smith have left? The last 2 years, that back has been flaring up where he hasn't been able to practice. Now, when he gets out there, he's a beast. But if it ends up being that, he gets 1 or 2 more years, we're in the same situation we are with Tony Romo's money. Tony Romo, not on the team. We paid him $10 million of dead money last year. This year, still another 9. And so now people are saying the Cowboys aren't going to let go of Dez Bryant. And I tell you, be careful of listening to Ian Rappaport, because Ian Rappaport is always wrong. How much does Joe Boo make? Not enough, I'll put it that way, because if he made enough, I wouldn't be working a day job. But Dez Bryant, people are saying, oh, the Cowboys are going to restructure his contract. Okay, well, here's the thing that you got to understand about restructuring contracts. That means you're still paying the same amount of money. You're just giving them a bonus check right now and spreading it out over years. So the question is he going to be able to play several more years? Because if he can't, you're just kicking that big cap number now down the road and possibly adding to it. You're better off to go ahead and pull that Band-Aid off and get rid of the pain as a June 1st cut and only have to take $4 million in dead money. Basically the same amount of dead money you're taking for Nolan Carroll and Thornton. That's what we got on the cap right now for those 2 guys, $4 million in dead money. You could have the same for Dez Bryant and have $12.5 million more to spend. Now, as we go down through, Travis Frederick, his cap number is 13.2. Now, Travis has stayed healthy and everything else. He hasn't had his contract restructured, and they can easily restructure his, write him a nice check for about $10 million, and get another $7 million of cap room. And you can look at that and say, okay, yeah, we can prorate that over the length of the rest of the contract, and we're okay. Because right now it looks like he's going to be here for several years. Sean Lee, he's $11 million. Okay, that's reasonable. But you have, again, wonder how many more years does he have left? Zach Martin right now, 9.3. If we get a long-term deal, we can kind of redo his contract and make the first year real team-friendly, grab some cash there. Tyrone Crawford, now that's a 9.1. Again, a contract that's been restructured that you can't hear. Okay, let me turn it up just a little bit more. Sorry you can't hear. There we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Let me know if that's not loud enough for you. We can take Tyrone Crawford. His cap number is 9.1. The question you have to ask for next year is he worth $9.1 million? If you think that you can take Taco and basically, well, thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the love from you guys. If you think that we can get that production out of Taco, you can cut Tyrone Crawford and save about $8 million. That's a good chunk of change. Same thing with like Orlando Scandrick. You know, if you figure that we don't need Orlando Scandrick, that's another about $3.5 million. So if the Cowboys want to make some moves, they can make some moves and do some stuff and not have a whole lot of pain. Let me give some shout outs to Jonathan Payne, Brandon Wiggles, Justin Quarles, Lorne Malvo, and I've got these two TVs now, and so one's actually kind of blocking the other, so that way I can see the controls on one camera, on one screen, and the comments on the other, but I didn't get it great. The sound is lagging. Not sure why it's lagging. I guess it's not timed up. Let me try and make an adjustment here real quick. Hang on for 1 second here. Let me see if I can adjust this real quick. Okay, let's hopefully that took care of it. I'm not sure if it did or didn't. How much will okay, well, Demario Davis. Well, that's a good question. Demario what a season he had. 137 tackles. I'm sorry, 135 tackles, 5 sacks, and 97 solo tackles, which led the NFL. He is a free agent. Now, the question will be, will the Jets go ahead and try and re-sign him? I'm sure the video is lagging. Okay, I'm not sure why the video is lagging. Store chat. Hold on, guys. Let me see why it's lagging. It's lagging on my side.
Because it's lagging on your side, man.
Hold on.
It's not lagging on your side, man. It's like
Okay, hold on. Let me. Hold on. Let me make an adjustment. I apologize, guys. You know, I am technology challenged, and it may be my bit rate is messed up, but let me change the setting on it real quick because I bumped it up trying to make the picture a little clearer. And apparently, our internet is not getting it out fast enough. Output. Let's go to 4,000. One of these days, I'm going to have this together, or I'm going to have somebody who's here beside me helping me with this. Okay, hopefully that'll help take care of it. Is somebody downloading porn at my house? Well, Michael is getting ready to go out, so I don't think anybody is, and I don't think my wife is downloading any porn currently, but then again, hey, you never know. Oh, it's good now? Okay. So the thing with the Cowboys in past years is this time of the year, the Cowboys are usually scrambling to redo Tony Romo's contract to get some change just to get underneath the cap. We're actually in a hell of a lot better position right now than we have been in many, many, many years. So it's not lagging on my end. Okay, so hopefully the picture is good for you guys as well. Yeah, I think I just changed the bit rate. There's so many different settings and stuff in there, and I'm still working on getting this place together. I've got there's 2 screens that are actually in front of me right now, and of course I've got the lights here on the sides and the lights from the camera. So it's like, wow. And then of course I've got the mic mixer over here. I've got the keyboard, the mouse. So it gets to be actually a lot to do as a one-man show. And I keep trying to get Michael Fitness to be kind of my side man here to help out. Hint, hint. And I can't seem to get him to help run the boards and stuff. But, maybe I can get one of you guys that'll come over on Monday and Thursday nights and help out. But Demario Davis, somebody was asking about him. What do you command? I'm sure it would be somewhere between $10 and $12 million a year. But I got to tell you, he has never missed a game with the Jets. And when you look at the difference, if you want to understand that, there's a lot of people don't get it twisted here when I talk about Jalen Smith. What Jalen Smith did this past year is nothing short of miraculous, because basically he played on one leg. Literally, seriously, he literally played on one leg. The fact that he ended up being second on the team in tackles, it's amazing. But when he made tackles, a lot of the times, it ended up being he's getting hit and taken upfield. He's getting drugged for 4 or 5 yards, and he's giving up first downs. When he had to go into pass coverage, he couldn't plant and go back. Now, I'm hoping that foot will come back. He says that it's healing. It's Michael Anthony Fitness. Yeah, if you guys check out Michael Anthony Fitness and stuff, he's doing all kinds of stuff between, he's working out and things, and he was actually motivated by Demario, so he might be starting to do 2-a-day workouts and stuff. Until the draft. And he also does PlayStation games and things like that, stuff that's way beyond my technology knowledge. It's fitness knowledge as well right now. But you can see Jalen Smith is making tackles, but it's kind of like I'm holding on type of tackles. You take a look at some of the clips of Demario Davis, and I welcome you guys to look at it, because if he's a free agent, I'm telling you, Jerry Jones, go for this guy. You put him in the middle because he is a general. He is a guy who's motivating the team. He's in guys' face. He's out there leading by example, and he plays balls to the wall. Dude is working his ass out right now. I saw him at the Super Bowl. He's in his training regiment. My man had for breakfast 3 bowls of oatmeal. He's been down working out with Ed Reed and things like that. You won't see him. You won't hear about him at the nightclub getting in trouble. He's a guy who's giving back in the community. He's a team leader. That's the kind of guy you want to have on your team. Now, the Jets would be stupid not to re-sign him. But if they don't, I would love to see him in Dallas. Not just because I've had him here, but I'm telling you, because that's the kind of player you want. A guy who stays healthy, a guy that comes to work every day, a guy that's motivated to be the best. And that's what we're going to need. And so, back to the whole Dez Bryant situation. It's not a matter of me hating any players. I never hated Tony Romo. But we have to get to the point where New England is. Instead of having 10 guys that are taking up 70% of the cap, and you lose 2 of those guys and the team going in the toilet, you need to take a couple of those guys' contract and spread it out on good depth on the team. If we had had good depth, if we had a good swing tackle this year, we would have been in the playoffs. If we had a good backup linebacker when Sean Lee was out, we would have been in the playoffs. It's that simple. You cannot go from a penthouse player to the outhouse player and think you're going to be able to succeed. Well, Lauren, I have to disagree with you on Dak Prescott is terrible, okay? Take a look at some of the other guys that are out there. Dak Prescott had more touchdown passes than Matty Ice, who was the MVP the year before. Now, it wasn't like the whole team played fantastic. Zeke Elliott was, getting 1,600 yards rushing. It wasn't like he was never getting touched. Dak Prescott got the hell beat out of him. Dak Prescott had more drop passes than anybody else. Did Dak not play that well? No, there's games he didn't. But when you talk about those games he didn't play real well, you also have to talk about those 4 games that he had 3 or more touchdown passes as well. You got to talk about the first part of the season when Zeke Elliott was only averaging 3.7 yards a carry, and Dak put the team on his back and willed them to win early. So to say that he is horrible and can't get any better and you need to get him out of there, then you just don't know football very much. JB, here's the thing. With a guy like him, you put him in the middle where you want Sean Lee. Sean Lee, and this is no racial thing or that, Sean Lee has got to be one of the fastest white guys I've ever seen. Sean Lee is best on the weak side and chasing down receivers. You put Demario Davis in the middle, he's a beast. He's a run stopper. He is a guy that will go ahead and take care of business. He's a guy who can get 5 sacks. And that leaves Sean Lee not having to take on all of those big hits and being able to be the guy covering people in the slot, which is what he does best. He can play in the middle, but the problem is his body just can't take being in the middle, taking on the guards and the centers coming at him all the time. That would be incredible. And then that allows you to play Jalen Smith in the right situations and really let that leg heal. Now, all of a sudden, if you've got DeMarcas Lawrence there, if you end up getting David Irving and he doesn't have the concussion issues, you all of a sudden, and Taco starts coming along, you get a big man in the middle, and now you've got Richard with an aggressive defensive backfield where we're not leaving 8-yard cushions. Xavier Woods gets a little bit of playing time behind him. Kevon Frazier starts coming on, and maybe you sign a free agent safety like an Earl Thomas to mentor these guys. Then you got a top 5 defense. So that's where we are with the team. They've got to weigh how much money do we want to keep paying Dez Bryant? Do we want to pay Dez Bryant that much money, or do we take that money and go ahead and say, okay, we're going to get some depth, we're going to get a good free agent, we're going to work on our defense some, and we'll try and get a receiver either in the draft or through free agency. I can't make those calls. I wish I could make those calls. But that's where we are with this team. And I agree with you, no Dak Ninja. Okay. I love having competition at every spot because the problem for me is when a guy, like Bryce Butler basically said, I want to be a starter day one. Well, wait, hold on. I don't care who you are. You need to work and earn the spot. Nothing should be given to you guys. I don't care how much money you're getting paid. If there's a guy who can play better than you, that guy's playing if I'm the coach. And if you're getting paid more than him and you can't perform like him, then you're going to be off this team and I'll play him. So, yeah, I like competition. I like guys that have to fight to get where they're going. Doesn't always work out that way because you always have some guys that just have to show up and, I'm a starter. Why does Dak get excuses? I'm not giving you excuses. I'm not saying that the season was acceptable, but there are reasons why guys have mistakes. Flat out. If you believe that somebody else would have done so much better under the situation of being sacked 9 times against Atlanta, please let me know who that would have been, especially with the play calling that was called. If your quarterback is getting eaten up because your tackle can't block, then most coaches would say, I need to either run the ball, throw the ball short passes where the blitz is coming from, or I need to keep a tight end to chip or a running back in there to protect my quarterback. Because Dak can't block the guy and throw the passes both. Because if you're saying he should have won that game. So did he have to block the guy as well as throw the ball? Come on, man. I know there's some of you guys out there that are going to hate Dak Prescott for whatever reason. I don't know what reason that may be. You will not give the guy any kind of credit, but a guy who's had over 50 touchdown passes in 2 seasons, apparently he's done something right. And don't give me this whole thing that Zeke Elliott, the only reason why he was good was because of Zeke Elliott. Because if that was the case, then Minnesota would have had Pro Bowl quarterbacks all those great years of AP getting 18, 19, 2,000 yards. Clearly, it's more than just having a great running back. Well, Sandman, I can't tell you why Linehan and Garrett have not had to compete for their job security. That's still been a mystery to me. I am of the 5-year coaching window myself that if you have not done it in 5 years, chances are you're not going to do it in year 6, 7, or 8. In fact, if I have the statistics right, I don't believe any coach who has not been to the Super Bowl after 7 years has gone through and won it. I could be wrong on that. And I'm not talking about Tom Landry did, of course, but he started the franchise. So You're talking about expansion team. But a coach that has taken over a team that was existing and hasn't won in 7 years, didn't win it in 8, 9, 10, or any other year. Mr. JB, we need to get rid of Witten. Well, that's a tough one. Yeah, he's about the third oldest player right now in the NFL. But what do you have to replace him with right now? You got Rico Gathers, but you don't know. The jury's still out on him because he was out all season with the concussion. James Hanna, you think he's ready to go ahead and take the load for us? Right now, we don't have a whole lot of options. Yeah, Eli Manning, I hear you. 2-time Super Bowl MVP, 2 playoff wins in 20-plus years, yada, yada, yada. Yes, I'm not happy about that either, but it is what it is for us Cowboys. Hopefully, we can do better next year. Steak, yeah. We go 3-0. But here's half the problem again is our offense has been so predictable. The difference between last year and the year before was on first down, Zeke Elliott was literally having holes that were opened up where he didn't get touched for 4 yards downfield. This year, not so much. First half of the season when it was going to be, is he suspended or not going to be suspended, it was 1 yard, 2 yards. We were constantly in second and longs. That all of a sudden changes everything that you're doing. You know, when it's 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 4, the playbook's wide open, and teams are worried about him gashing you. But he didn't gash people like he did the year before. And unfortunately, we didn't change much. We kept that same formula going through. We've basically got the same offense that the Cowboys were running the last time we were in the Super Bowl. Jason Garrett hasn't changed jack crap. And on the flip side, you looked at the Eagles, who they threw the kitchen sink. They tried everything. You never knew where it was coming from. Can you say that with Jason Garrett? I don't think we can. This is why I love the Cowboys. Oh, man, you know, we get so much hate, man. I even get hate from other Cowboy fans, which is kind of funny, too. Can you not spell trash? Okay. Well, Steak, I agree with you on that, too. I think our team needs to be more creative. And see, here's the thing. When you look at when we lost Tony Romo in 2015, the offense stayed exactly the same with Brandon Wheaton and then Matt Castle. You know, here's the thing that I kept looking at is Brandon Wheaton. If you study the film long enough, you realize Brandon Wheaton cannot throw to his left. He doesn't have the arm strength and everything else. He always gets in trouble throwing to his left. Tony Romo, on the other hand, was actually really good throwing to his left. But yet, we kept trying to get Brandon Wheaton to throw to the left. Brandon Wheaton was not Tony Romo. Tony Romo covered up for a lot of deficits that the Cowboys had in coaching, because he could run around, buy time, wait for receivers to come back, throw guys open and things like that, which is great. But you don't have Tony Romo anymore. You've got a different quarterback. You've got a guy in Dak Prescott who is fantastic outside of the pocket, doing naked bootlegs, moving the pocket and getting him to throw on the run. Those are more of his strengths. Doing run option passes, even if you don't run him that often, if you give the impression where teams are worried about, is he going to run or is he going to throw, and you have a guy who's now on an island of, do I attack him so he doesn't run, or do I cover the guy coming out? You have that run option pass, you kill guys. But we don't do that kind of stuff. We're still stuck in the Tony Romo style of offense. So until they go ahead and work towards his strengths, you're going to have the same kind of results. Now, Where are we here? Hold on. Let me go ahead and get John on here. I'm going to have John join us tonight. John Gardner, another one of our YouTubers here that's doing work and stuff for the Jobu Sports Report. Hopefully we can get him on here.
I'm up.
You're up. Okay, I'm just waiting for the picture. John, how are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good.
Hold on, let me turn your mic up a little bit here. Got a little bit of feedback off of that. Hopefully everybody can hear you. So John, can you hear me, my man?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm not hearing you too good though. Wait a minute, get you turned up here. Okay, hopefully everybody can hear you now. John, so what you got for me tonight, man?
Alright, so what I did was I printed off a list. I went to CBS Sports because I think they have the best draft coverage.
Uh-huh.
And I printed off a list of the top 261 draft picks or guys, prospects.
Okay.
And so what I'm going to do is systematically try and go through all 261 throughout the time. And so far, right now, I've gone through about 41 of them.
Uh-huh.
But I'm mainly just going after guys that just make a lot of sense for us to pick. Like, obviously, it's going to be guys like Bradley Chubb or guys like that aren't going to be on the board.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to try and focus on tonight are guys that we could possibly get with our first 3 picks, which is in the top 100.
Okay. All right. Now, for everybody who's just tuning in, John, tell them what the name of your site is and how they can get in touch with you.
Okay,
So they can start following you.
Get in touch with me at on Twitter at DMV Dallas Cowboy. On YouTube, I'm DMV. You can just type in DMV Dallas Cowboys, and I'll pop right up.
Yeah, I'm having a little problem getting your audio up right now. And let me get Jobu his
So
replay
right
here.
now, how's this sound? It sound better?
A little bit better. You're still kind of low. If you can turn your end up a little more, it'd be great.
Let me see if I can mess with my microphone.
Yeah, I'm having a real hard time hearing you on that one. Hold on, let me try and redo that. There we go. Say something for me, John.
Hello.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be what it's going to be tonight. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the directly into it. Forgive me, guys. His audio is going to be a little bit low, but hopefully you guys can hear him. I'll get that straightened out this week coming up. You know, I'm old in technology challenge. But tell me about some of the guys that you think would be possibilities for our Cowboys to draft at 1951 and 80 what? And 81, okay.
Alright, so here's the highest possibility, and this is the best possibility of what could happen that I've been hearing. Now, with quarterbacks emerging, and they're going to emerge as the combine comes up, that only helps us because we don't need a quarterback. We need positions like linebacker, defensive lineman, receiver. We could possibly go offensive lineman. Which I'm starting to fall in love with the idea of doing that. But the best possible position would be for us to get a safety at number 19 if we could. And there's actually 2 names on the board of guys who could fall. Now, we've seen guys fall before on the draft night. One of the guys is Derwin James out of Florida State. As I told you before, CBS Sports, they do a very good job of prospects and stuff like that. Derwin James, if you haven't seen him, is very dynamic at the safety position. And we've been missing that for a long time. Now, knowing that Byron Jones is going to move probably back to cornerback, that leaves that open for us to get a safety, especially at 19 if it's a top guy. The second guy that I'm thinking of that this is a long shot. I wrote him down as a long shot, but I had to look him up anyway, is Minkah Fitzpatrick out of Alabama. It's a long shot, but you never know because if then that leaves Fitzpatrick to possibly drop to us.
Okay.
And he's more of a strong safety type, but he's a talent that you can't pass on if he falls to you at 19. Um, Another guy who I'm really high on, I'm going to do a video on him after this. I've already recorded it. It just said I ran out of time, so I didn't get a chance to post it. But Vita Vea out of Washington.
Yeah.
And Law Nation did a piece on him. So he's probably the one who made me fall in love with him. But he's 6'5", 344 pounds, and that's what he's listed as. You and I both know, we both play football. We know that interior defensive linemen, they never give their real weight.
Yeah.
He's probably around 360, but he demands a double team every time. Like you can't put one guy on him. And as Law Nation broke down in his video, anybody that you can get that demands a double team that can protect your linebackers, that's protecting an investment.
Right.
Sean Lee's been injured over the last couple of years or whatever. Jalen Smith, who's coming off a leg injury, and him being a rookie. So if you can find somebody who can help protect and also go in the rotation of our defensive linemen right now, that's a big plus. And I think that he can come right in and be our one technique, which can free David Irving to be our three technique, because I think David Irving would suit our defense a little bit better at the three technique position, being that you have to be a little bit quicker and get upfield a little bit more. Another guy that I'm going to touch on, he's on this list. Now, I got him going to maybe 50 to the 81 range. They got him at number 19 on this list. But every other place that I see, he's second, third round. His name is Dez Bryant out of Florida. He's a defensive tackle. He's also 6'5", but he's 293 pounds. So
wow.
him being about 293, that fits the mold of what a three technique should be like in our scheme. He has very, very good pass rushing moves. He gets upfield very well. On tape, he stood out to me. I would love to have him on our team. The highlight video that I saw, they talked about him being close to a J.J. Watt type.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that, but I do know that he can rush the quarterback, and that's what we need. If you looked at who won the Super Bowl, Philadelphia, had multiple guys that can push that pocket.
Right.
They say that it's a quarterback-driven league, but what happens when you push that quarterback off the spot? You can change games that way, and so
you can, as we found out against Atlanta.
Exactly. So that's what we need. We need a guy. We've been missing that the last couple of years with David Irving being injured or whatnot. We just need guys interior-wise, not necessarily defensive ends. We need somebody to make it easier for our defensive ends. Because if we're pushing the pocket back, guess what? If you're rushing from the outside, it's pretty much a spoon-fed sack at that point. So Dez Bryant from Florida. Another guy who I think we should take at 19 if he's there. Another guy we could take at 19. I've been listening to the draft show and a couple of other places, but they haven't been talking about him, which is very surprising because he goes to Texas. His name is Connor Williams. He's an offensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
6'6". He's 320 pounds. Now, a lot of people, when they say, well, tackle, we already got Tyron Smith and we got Collins on the other side. I think that this guy can convert to a guard. Me and Clarence were talking. He reminds me a lot of what Zach Martin was at Notre Dame. He's very fluid, very quick, very nasty. I think that one thing that we got away from in our scheme last year was one of the abilities is getting to the second level. I don't believe Collins or whoever the left guard was, we missed that with Ronald Leary, but we were able to get to the second level. Not only smashing them out, but get to the second level to those linebackers where it creates creases for Zeke Elliott and those other running backs. We were missing that, and especially in the screen game. And Connor Williams offers both of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do a video on him too. I'm going to do a double whammy with Vita Vea and Connor Williams tonight. Another guy who could fall to us, this is more of a long shot, but I like him a lot. Out of Ohio State, Denzel Ward, cornerback.
Oh, yeah, I love him.
He's 5'10", 191. He has an attitude, though, of a type of corner that we need. And to be honest, even if we're from if we found the right corner in the draft.
That felt, yeah.
So Denzel Ward is one of the only ones that I would do that for. If you find a corner that could eventually be a shutdown, you go ahead and grab him if you can, if it makes sense. Yeah,
Right.
I think that Denzel Ward could make sense for our roster, as you said you love him.
Okay.
Another guy that I like a lot at number 50 in the second round from Clemson. Now, if you get a chance, look at this guy. His name is Dorian O'Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of a tweener. He's an outside backer, but he can play very well in space. So you can do things with him in different packages. He reminds me of a safety. Like Clemson kind of plays like a hybrid safety linebacker. They have him in that type of role. Whereas I think that he could fit in as a strong side guy for us. His size is 6'1", 215, so he's pretty light. Might be able to beef him up a little bit, play him at safety, but the way that he plays, there's a role for a guy like that on your team. He's very tough. It's not like he's 215 listed, but he takes on blocks very well and he plays well in space.
Right.
So, another guy, he's number 30 on the CBS Sports list. I got him at around the 50, 81 range. Michael Gallup from Colorado State. Have you had an opportunity to look at him?
No, not yet. Actually, I've been so busy with getting everything else coming down from the Super Bowl. I have yet to really start focusing on that. I've been actually focusing in right now on getting ready for free agency because we got to figure out what we're doing, and we're only 4 weeks or so away. I'm sorry. I apologize, guys. I've had a little problem with the microphone. It's actually I ended up having to change computers here at the last minute because the Skype wasn't working right. So I'm going to get that stuff squared away before Monday night. But, John, tell everybody where they can find you, and I'm going to get you back on Monday night where we get the volume and everything taken care of better on that. I hope everybody could hear some of the guys we're focusing in on. But what we're going to do is we're going to get some film studies so we'll be able to get some of that stuff up to you guys. But, John, tell everybody where they can find your channel so they can find out about all those guys.
Yeah, find me at DMV Dallas Cowboys. I'm on YouTube. Check me out. I got a couple of things coming up tonight. You won't be. You'll love it. Trust me.
Well, I know Virginia Finest has just subscribed to your channel and stuff, so check my man out. He knows what he's talking about. I know you couldn't hear him, and that's not his mistake. That's actually mine. I'm working on getting this stuff together, and I will have it straightened out by Monday night. Thank you, John, and I'm hoping I'm going to see you on Sunday, right?
Absolutely. I'll be there.
Yeah, well, we're going to have John's going to be coming over. Thank you, man. John's going to be coming over with Cowboys Nation and my buddy Irvin and Clarence and stuff, because we're going to start planning for the draft, and I just can't wait because we are definitely going to be there. Anybody who is going to be turn this off. That's going to be at the draft. We're going to be looking for you guys there. We're going to literally be tailgating at the draft. So we're working on that. We're going to make sure we have it together, and by that time, I will definitely have my shit together as far as the broadcasting goes. But now, here it is. We only got 15 minutes left of the show. I want to acknowledge everybody from Brandon to Anthony Jennings, Jackie, how are you doing tonight? The Foundation, 80s Kendall, really? Wow. Kristen Collinsworth, everybody, thank everybody for tuning into the show and stuff tonight. Got a few problems tonight. I'm not sure what's going on with the internet. Like somebody said, maybe somebody's downloading and surfing porn on me. Let's see where we are here, because it actually is slowing down on my end too. The Eagles. Guys, can you take it easy for a minute? Can you just slow your roll just a little bit? Now, I understand.
And we would be doing the same thing.
No, come on now. I wouldn't be going on Eagle sites just talking trash and telling people that we are now the new dynasty, Michael. Because literally.
I wouldn't be tearing down the city.
I mean, okay, right.
I think a portion of us would act the same mind as tearing down the city.
Yeah, that's like Michael said. Literally tearing down the city. But it's not so much that. I mean, I don't have a problem with them tearing down their city because I don't live there, okay? Don't come to my town tearing it down. But the fact that you guys are going through and you guys are writing checks that I'm not sure you're behind can't cash. You guys are talking about how great you guys are. You are now the dynasty. You're now America's team. You've won one Super Bowl. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. You know, that couple that was across from me at the Super Bowl, I'm happy for them that they finally got one after being season ticket holders since '73. You know what? Great. Congratulations.
So what about that gentleman that they showed on TV that was like 80 or 90 years old?
Yeah, well, you know.
He finally
right.
saw. He's been there since the beginning.
However, take it easy. We haven't even gotten to next year, and already, listen, we talk about how we're in cap hell with $19 million. You guys are $9 million over the cap right now. You've got to cut between now and the end of the month to get underneath there. You got guys like Brandon Grimes that are like, show me the money. We got a ring. I want to get paid. You got other guys that are going to be gone. And then you're going to have the whole Nick Foles, Carson Wentz issue. Because if you're Carson Wentz right now, in your mind, you're thinking, damn, I was the number one pick for the team. That's my team out there. I started out the season getting the team on cruise control. I need to get my ass back there because this guy has now done something that no other Eagle has done. Led him to a Super Bowl. And what you might get is you might get an RG3 type of a deal where I'm all in and I'm trying to get my ass back out on the field because I'm worried about my job before I'm ready. And we know, especially as Cowboy fans, we know how fickle fans can be. Dak could have 2 incomplete passes and people are like, get the bum out of here. If it ends up being that Carson Wentz comes back and all of a sudden has a bad game, you don't think people are going to start saying, get Nick Foles in here? You don't really think that's going to happen? Because what always happens on every team, the most loved player is always the backup quarterback. I don't care who it is. We got people that are in love with Cooper Rush right now. Get Dak out of here. He's a bum. Put Cooper Rush in here. Okay. Till Cooper Rush gets out there. When Cooper Rush gets out there, all of a sudden, get that bum out of here. Who's the next guy up? So you got that situation. You're going to lose a few coaches here and there. All of a sudden, when you play that first place schedule, when you've got that target on your back, you know it's hard to repeat. Take a look at the Giants. They won the Super Bowl twice in the last 20 years, that is. And the next year, didn't make the playoffs. I remember going to their Super Bowl party in 2013. And that's where some of you guys say that I'm a bandwagon fan because I kept, when you went to the season opening game, Dallas versus the Giants, in 2013, Joe Boo's first game, they gave you a scarf that said New York Giants. I still have that scarf because I hold that as a trophy. Because the Cowboys came in there and ruined their Super Bowl party. Kicked their ass. That season, they didn't make the playoffs the next year. But everybody thought, oh, man, the New York Giants, Eli Manning, man, he's fantastic. That defense of theirs, they're going to be a dynasty. Well, guess what? They haven't won a playoff game since then. And they only made the playoffs once in that 5 years. And right now, they're the bottom feeders of the division. So enjoy finally getting that Super Bowl monkey off your back. Be thankful that you did. But in the NFL, ain't nothing guaranteed. Now, last night, I got to tell you the story. Because here is something that'll put that in perspective. My buddy who came over was also working with United Way, Battle. Played 3 years at Jacksonville, played a year with the Steelers around 2000, 2004 is when he played. But he was saying about how football is. You know, we all know who the Turk is. You go into the locker room, you're looking around because you want to make sure that the Turk doesn't come through and tap you on the back. Because when he taps you on the back, he's going to say, get your playbook. Which means your ass is out of here. And it doesn't happen just in training camp. That can happen at any time. He was talking about this guy who, wide receiver, he said dude was good, man. Dude played lights out. But literally, he was there 1 week, he was gone the next. Oh, they bring him back again, he was gone. He was on and off the team 5 times. 5 times. And he said, you think about football players that make a whole lot of money and stuff. He said, but when you have to change teams or you get locked out, you lose your job, ain't nobody paying for that. You move from Cleveland to Washington to New York, ain't nobody paying for that. That's your expense. That's you uprooting your family. And he said, this one poor guy came in for practice, sat down at his locker, started putting his shoes on. He said, damn, what the shoes seem kind of big. Oh, well, what the hell? Putting them on. Said another dude came up behind him, tapped him on the shoulder. Yo, man, what you doing? He said, what? You're in my locker. He said, you had to look up at your name tag. He said, you never look up at your name tag. You just know that's my spot. They fired the dude, but they forgot to fire him, to let him know. The Turk didn't come knock him, tap him on the shoulder and say, get your playbook. His ass was out of here. So Eagle fans, understand the Turk is out there. He could be tapping you on the shoulder. Because keep in mind, nobody has repeated in the NFC East since the 2003-2004 season. And that is a fact. So enjoy the Super Bowl. And you can call me bitter, salty. It's okay. It's cool. It's cool. I'm just giving you straight up facts. So take it easy. Relax. Enjoy it. Because you guys are so talking about the future, you're forgetting about the present and enjoying this right now. Philly fans think the earth is flat. Dez should go to Oakland. Well, again, that's one of those hard things. The whole Dez Bryant, that's the thing that's difficult. See, and football is different now, more so than when I grew up. Because when I grew up, free agency wasn't there. Players didn't have the opportunities they have now. And God bless them, I'm happy that they can make a killing. But in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, Cowboy players were Cowboy players. You knew Randy White was going to be Randy White with the Dallas Cowboys year after year. And you knew that Dyron Talbert and Dave Butts and all those guys, all those Redskin guys that were there year after year, you hated them. And it was more than about money because these guys didn't get paid a whole lot of money. Most of them had jobs in the offseason. It was real passion. Now what we have is, like my man said, you're an independent contractor. You're getting a 1099. It is a business. And so in the end, you don't have those battles where one team truly hates the other and real passion. It is a business. What can I say? If Aaron Rodgers wasn't injured, the Eagles wouldn't have won it. I won't go quite that far because Aaron Rodgers has been Aaron frickin' Rodgers every year, but they haven't exactly been going to the Super Bowl every year. Yo, Mark, we got motherfuckers wanting to play for free for the Eagles. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Field a team of guys that want to play for free. Because I guarantee there's a lot of Eagle fans out there that like to play for the Eagles for free. But guess what? It's not going to happen. Jackie, okay. Well, you know what, Connecticut Cowboys, I would love actually to see the Cowboys versus the Eagles for the season opener. To me, that could be history repeating itself. Cowboys went in Super Bowl champions against the New York Giants and kicked their butts. And I got to tell you, I'm hoping that the Cowboys are getting focused on winning. I believe that this is Custer's last stand for Jason Garrett, and that if he doesn't perform this year, then finally it's done and over with. They're not going to go through and have him as a lame duck coach with 1 year left on his contract. He's got to perform to get another contract, or he's going to be out of here, just like the players do. And maybe that's the right thing. But one last thing, we got 3 minutes left to go in here. I'm actually getting excited about our defense. I believe Rod Martinelli, you haven't heard too much because, originally they gave him the option, hold and take your time if you want to retire. And I'm thinking that they may be doing like they did before and basically kind of let him semi-retire, front office job, maybe work with the defensive line. But I feel like Richard is taking control of that defense. The DB coach, and his style of coaching, the way he views his secondary is very aggressive. Rod Martinelli, our defense has been more kind of kick back, bend, don't break, give up the short pass, just don't give up anything deep. And we haven't gotten turnovers. And I think that is the biggest problem for our defense is we have not been able to get turnovers. And we need them bad. Turnovers are game changers, and I'm liking the fact that they're saying, okay, Byron Jones, you're a cornerback. You don't have what we need for a safety. I think Xavier Woods could end up being a real good one because he's a guy that I like, that he puts his head up in there. He's a hitter. He's always around the ball. A little undersized, but for whatever reason, he's always around the ball. I love that. I'll definitely check him out, David, from Marshall University. Okay. Virginia Finest, good night, man. Thanks for joining in. In fact, everybody, thanks for joining in. Oh, we got Melina back in here. Melina, why are you are just so damn disgusting. Why do you even come here? Because literally, you just come in to start some stuff. That's one thing, guys. I'm not about necessarily trash talking. I'm not about trying to bring other people down. My whole thing is spread the mojo. That's the motto of this channel, okay? If you can do something good to help somebody else out, then you do it. That's why I bring other YouTubers here on the channel and things, because, I'm trying to help spread the word and do what I can to help my fellow man. If you're about trash talking and putting people down, please, by all means, go to another channel. We got enough hate in the world. We got enough violence in the world. Why don't we keep this place a place where we can all have discussions about football and feel good about things? And with that note, it's 10 o'clock. It's Friday night. I apologize about the sound. I'm still working on getting this stuff together. I will make sure it's squared up by Monday night's live stream. We will get back to doing our drawing on Monday night. I've got to figure out what we're giving away in here. As I've gone through and cleaned up, I found out I've got a Deion Sanders signed hat. I've got a Charles Haley signed hat. Actually, it's the same hat. It's Charles Haley signed on one side. And Deion said, I'm embarrassed to sign with Charles Haley because I'm not in the same class. I've got Brandon Carr. I don't think anybody wants a Brandon Carr, but I got Brandon Carr and some other players that are up there as well. So, guys, as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boost Sports Report. And as always, I'll see you soon.